Hey up lads and lasses, how's they doing? Welcome to another video. I have a special mystery guest. You guys probably won't know who he is because he's always behind the camera. It's very rare we see you in front of the camera.
Yes, indeed, although I am trying to get more in front of the camera now, so we'll see where that goes.
Definitely. So for those of you that don't know, this is Maxon. You may know him as Glitchfan2428.
That's right.
Is that right? He has incredible content on YouTube, and the thing that we're doing today is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's literally the sort of thing that you would cover.
Exactly.
We are focusing on buses that are around Leeds, but in particular the guided bus network. We've got 2 guided bus networks here in Leeds. I'm going to try and get a look at both of them and talk about the history. So with that said, sit back, grab some snacks. That's a street deck you can hear. We'll be seeing plenty of those. Enjoy the video.
Yep, we
Cue
hope
intro.
you enjoy it.
Hey up lads and lasses. So, definitely a different video using the same intro. How? Well, red's behind me. Yeah, so this one we're going to have a look at the Elite Guideway. That's what they called it. I'm going to sit here with red behind me. Yes, the Elite Guideway. This is the York Road Guideway, which opened in 2001 following the success of Scotthall Road at 6 years prior to that. So, kind of going to do the same as what we did with Scotthall Road. We're going to go up to Crossgates on a 56, come back down, get some clips and stuff in between on the main York Road sections, and then have a look at a little bit on Selby Road as well. So my intention is to get a 19 or a 19A at some point, a 40, and yeah, 56. So usually this one behind me does those routes, but today it's on a 65. So a little different, but we'll see what else we get. So let's go get them. I'm just going to see red off. Nice shot of her. May also want to note, red has guide wheels. Very nice. Yeah, off she goes. Just going to point out that, well, I was going to mention, if you're not already subscribed, please do consider subscribing, like this video, and if you haven't seen the Scotthall Road video, do watch that one first, because chronologically that would make more sense, and then come back and watch this one. Anyway, let's go find a 56. I need to go over this way. Oh, just very quickly, I think I mentioned in the last video that there are 3 hybrids in the greener Leeds livery. Well, this one's just been painted. So this is now in Leeds City, and it even has a stripe. So there's now 2 in greener Leeds livery. I've just literally missed a 56, parked deliberately, partly because I was getting that hybrid. Had I been paying attention behind me, the 56 was at the bus stop. But when I turned around, I realised that it was the recently named 37658. It's just been named Stephen Barrett, after a driver who's just recently passed away, so I've got pictures of that instead. So I'm going to walk up a stop because I'll probably have a lot of time to wait and get the next one. We'll start with 37662. Morning. Time. And just like that, we're at the front. Just what I needed. I'm going to set this bad boy up and we're going to get some footage of the York Road Guideway. Thank very much, mate. So I've actually got off before Crossgates at Killingbeck, just at the end of the outbound guideways, the last of the last bit. I'm going to pop into Asda for a drink, but I'm going to get some shots down here while I'm here, and get a shot of this leaving as well. And then I'll get on to some of the history with the York Road Elite Guideway. So yes, this was branded as the Elite Guideway in 2001 when it first opened. It uses old tram lines, much like Scott Hall Road does. And they got brand new vehicles for this as well. So First Bus got a batch of ALX 400s Volvo B70Ls for the 56s and the 40s, and somewhat the 1818A at the time. But they predominantly used Scania Ultralos, the ones from the Scott Hall Road ones, because they got such a large batch of them. So yeah, so that was that, but also Arriva got a batch of ALX 400 B70Ls, because Arriva also used York Road with the 163 and what was the 166 back in the day. I say that like it's been gone a long time. It's only just recently been withdrawn or something like this, the 166. But yes, that they both had brand new buses bought for it. I believe they would have replaced the B10B Striders, I want to say. And they came in the the aquamarine livery. And yeah, fitted with guide wheels. So all those services would use the Guideway. The 166 used to come up this way, past this Asda, using all the outbound sections of Guideway. The 163 would turn off at Selby Road, which is before the last section of Guideway, and go up that way. There's an inbound track up there as well, we're going to look at that later. So yeah, they got brand new buses for the Guideway, branded them all as Elite, and yeah, you basically had a service up York Road every sort of 5 minutes, if that, probably more frequent. You had the 18 and the 18A, the 40, the 56, the 64, the 163 and the 166, all using the Guideway. You did have other services as well. You had a 37 back in the day and whatnot that didn't use the Guideway because it turned off. But for the Guideway stuff, yeah, you had a bus at least every 5 minutes. Because a lot of the first stuff were every 10 minutes, and I believe between your 163 and your 166 they were every 15. Scania. I hope I caught that, because alas, I was reflection. Joys of sunny weather. So yeah, I'm going to discuss a bit more when I come back out from grabbing my drink, because I'm a bit parched. But there's some interesting stuff that was used on these Guideways. I'm going to go through them all. Another Scania. Followed by B9. So do you remember back in last video when I mentioned about 8635 K1RL being a sort of demonstrators kind of thing, and it went to Germany and things like that? By the way, I found a picture after I edited that video. Typical. There you go. And yeah, and it demonstrated over there and all that good stuff. Turns out that wasn't the only demonstrator. I can think of at least 3 other ones that we had in Leeds that also travelled on the Guideways. Starting with this MCW Metro bus 7575, or the 575 RW1. A little bit of Guideway was built on the back road of Bramley Depot for it to go in and measure dimensions and things like that. And it had a photo shoot by the very kind Malcolm King, who's was the official Yorkshire Rider photographer at the time. And yeah, so that was trialled in the depot before before launching the vehicles. Another vehicle we had very temporarily, I'm sure somebody will know for how long, but it was K1 GRT, which was a Grampian Mercedes-Benz bendy bus. I believe we sent a vehicle up to Aberdeen, sort of in replacement, so that they weren't left short, just while we had a little toy around with this one down here. I believe that might have even been used on Scottoll Road Guideway as well as York Road. Again, I'm sure if somebody knows, you can tell me. But that was another vehicle that we had. And then the third one was the one that we actually kept. It was officially a demonstrator from East Lancs and was 8656 61134, something like 8995 WY, I think it was. And it was a East Lancs Maxi bus, I think it was named. That was on a Scania M113 chassis as well, so it was pretty much the same as a Strider underneath. And that was fitted with guide wheels. It was in the Superbus livery for a while and all the deliveries after. It was used on this road and it was used on Scottoll Road as well. So yeah, weren't too shy to try different vehicles on the Guideway. Should I mention the fact that we tried an FTR? Nah, it was only 1926 and it didn't fit and it broke, so nah, nothing really to report there. Just an FTR went up a Guideway. Hey, get a new bus, see if it fits in a Guideway. Can't fault the logic. Anyway, moving on. So similar to Scottoll Road, York Road also had new buses promised every so often. So come 2004, 3 years after the ALX 400s were introduced, we got a large batch of B70L Rider Clips Geminis, and they were predominantly for the 40 service. And then in 2008, the 56 got their upgrade, as did the 18 and 18A with new Euro 4 buses. We had the B90 Rider Clips Gemini, much like we had earlier, and the Volvo B7R Elite Rider Eclipse Urban. And these are basically the only vehicles that are in use on the Guideway to this day, on this bit here. We haven't had any new buses since. For the York Road Guideway, they were looking at replacing them with street decks. They did a trial with 35509 back in 2018, 19 it was, early 19, because it came with the 19 plates ready for service. It came over, did its trials, went back to get finished, and then it came with the 19 plates to be put into service. So it had a trial, it failed the trial, the chassis wasn't strong enough, they just don't really fit that well in the Guideway. But I thought, well, we might try it again, we'll do some more trials. And then on the back of the 69 plate batch, 356, 36 and 37, they were liveried in yellow for the York Road network. They had guide arms fitted, but they never had wheels fitted. So as it stands, no street decks can go in the Guideway. Away it goes. I approve of that. camera back. What's in Guideway? Hello camera. Let's go back over here. Right, so I'm just going to grab this Scania up to Crossgates. And we're going to get a 40 back down into Leeds. There we are, I'm having that. Perfect. You're stopping up there, alright. There we are, right. Thank you. Dear Connections buses, this is a Scania. Scania's fitting Guideways. Just saying. Yes, you'll have noticed that we didn't use the Guideway, and that's because Connections buses don't use the Guideway. It's only First Bus now that use the Guideway. So this bus would actually fit in the Guideway, but when first relinquished the 64s over to Connections, Connections don't use the Guideway. Thank you very much, Matt. Cheers. And we're here at the Charles Henry Rowe Wetherspoons, a very appropriate name for what we're going to discuss next, and a very brilliant name for a pub. Because just down the road, from where I am behind me, is a little old place called Optare, or it was. And in 2009, Arriva decided it was time to update their fleet from the old B7ALX 400s to Optare Tempos, built literally just down the road. The 64 actually passes where the site used to be before they moved to Sherburn. So yes, they got brand new Optare Tempos. It was a brand new product at the time. They had a little demonstrator back end of 2008, I want to say, in silver and blue. And then they bought a batch of them. And yes, so they updated the fleet. So we had brand new buses again in 2008 and 9 for the York Road Guideway and the Selby Road Guideway. And yeah, that was pretty much it for new vehicles. We haven't really seen anything since. Bit of a shame, really. We are still looking at getting new vehicles at some point or other. We just don't know what, when, how. But hopefully something will come along soon enough. Now that Eclipse there looks quite familiar. I feel like I've seen that before. Cuts away to a shot of it entering Guideway. All being well, 37708 will be next. This one wasn't new for the Guideway. Yep. Ciao.
Hi, may I have a seat, please?
Super. Random mismatch of moquette. So this one was new to Bradford, came over to Hunslet in around 2012 and then eventually moved to Bramley, and then when the 04 plate B7s were withdrawn, they guided up some extra vehicles to replace them, and this is one of the vehicles. So here we're going to Selby Road, and the Guideway is at the bottom of the hill. So at some point during the Tempo's lifespan, 2009 to around 2013, on the mostly on the 163 and 166s, Arriva decided to take the guide wheels off and for them to use the main carriageway instead, and they've basically stuck with that ever since. So it's just First Bus that uses the Guideway, which is a rather odd decision. But even in 2013, with the V5LH hybrids, and then 2017 with the 400 MMCs, they've just used the main road. They haven't gone for anything that is Guideway adequate. So it's literally just First Bus that use the Guideway. So I've been up to Crossgates once already, and I've got one recording of Guideway. Now I need to go get the other inbound Guideway. I've got 10 and 11 minutes. Doesn't really matter which one. So yeah, there you go. Different to the Scottow Road one in a sense. There's literally nothing in the middle. It's just solid concrete the whole way across. I can also see the litter and the other stuff that has appeared over time. Whereas the Scottow Road one has a mixture of like gravel or grass down the centre, which I think looks nicer. And we also have the textured tactile paving as well here, so you know to stand behind it. There we are at Charles Henry Row. That was 37652. Gonna wait for a bus back down, towards Leeds. See what turns up. Hey. Done. 37649. Let's sit this side. So we're just currently going through the only section that is 2 lanes of Guideway anywhere in Leeds or even West Yorkshire for that matter. All the other sections of Guideway are just 1 lane. This bus being 37649 was new as part of a batch back in 2008 at Cherry Row, as it happened to be. For the 56, there was 37645 right through to 66, and they displaced the ALX 400s. These were branded for the route as part of the Overground Network Turquoise line, as were the ALX 400s actually. And then the singles that are currently out at the moment, we have 69334 through to 69350. Now the whole batch consisted of 69315 as a 58 plate, then 16 through to 24 for 09 plate guide buses, then 25, 26, 27, 28, which were new for the 37s. These two some more. They weren't guided. And then 29 right through to 50. We mentioned those in a previous video. Scotto Road. So out of those, only 34 to 50 are still in use. 31 to 33 are driver trailers with South Yorkshire, and the rest of them were all transferred out at some point or other. Some went to Bradford, some went to Huddersfield, some went to Manchester, some were going off west, some came back, albeit to Hunslet. So they've certainly had some interesting lives. As for the 04 plates, I think I need to make a separate video altogether for them things. But the batch consisted of 32431 right through to 73, of which up to 52 were guided. They did have guide arms fitted to 53 to 73, just in case they needed them, but they didn't. So 31 to 52 were the ones that were used. So yeah, come 2021, 22 sort of time, going into 23, the B70Ls, the 04 plates, were beginning to get withdrawn gradually. most of them going in 2022 with service cuts and things like that, basically rendering them spares, so they weren't needed anymore. But it did also mean that they needed to find replacements for them, and then with that in mind they were transferring a lot of B90Ls around. They were looking at getting some from Halifax, then they changed their minds, so the ones that they had that weren't guided were guided. These included the Heritage Bus 37675. We also saw 37704, which we had earlier, 708, 718 I think, and 724, all guided up on 37506. Thank you very much, mate. So there we are, back in Leeds. I've got off near the bus station because one of the street decks I previously mentioned earlier is sat over the road. I don't know what's up with it, it's sat not in service, but perhaps there's a fault with it. I don't know, it's a street deck, it's probably got a fault with it. But I'm going to show you what I meant earlier with the fact that these two have guide arms fitted without the wheels, so let's go and have a nosy. There you have it. Just as Danny's turned up with the van to see what its problem is. Outroing. Right, well, this is not exactly the outro I was hoping for, but unfortunately Maxon's got like 4 minutes to get down to the coach station for his coach back. So this is your outro from us.
Assuming that they departs on time and not early.
Yeah, and here's a promised street deck with 35510.
So you're gonna have to beep that one out.
I'll use a street deck to bleep it, I've got it already covered. So yeah, good luck getting your coach. Thank you for joining today.
Very welcome, man. So
And straight down that road where them lights are. Yeah, get off the road.
To the right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then turn left.
Yeah, just follow it left.
Okay, thanks. See ya.
See you later.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.